Ready, set, go. Okay, hi, my name is Oliver Ramus, and for the past couple weeks, I've been researching gliders, the science behind gliders, and some of the different fundamentals to glider flight. So today, I hope to do a glider simulation where I talk about some of I point out some important fundamentals and things to know about glider flight. I might point out things such as stalls. And really, I'm just going to try to explain some of the things I already know while demonstrating some of the practice I've actually put in on the little practice, I guess, on the glider simulation. But I'm 2 weeks in, or about 3, I guess, and I'm just hoping to demonstrate some of the knowledge I've gained. So, yeah. Ready? Go. Okay. So, I'm on the runway right now in the flight simulation. Look around where, I think it's actually Slovenia for some reason, because that's where the game, or simulation, was made. Anyways, so, this is the cockpit. To point a couple things out, this is, the GPS system, the altimeter, and some other things. This is the frequency, that's the compass, and yeah, for the most part, that's all you kind of need to know. So right now I'm going to call the tow plane, so I'm going to say just ready for takeoff, and that's the speedometer. That's important too, I guess. That tells you how fast you're going in knots. So, as you can see, that's going to be our tow plane. So, since gliders don't have engines, tow planes pick them up, and hold on. So, I'm going to take off. I'm not very good at takeoff yet, but I'm going to try my best. So, basically, for takeoff, so the glider wants to kind of try to take off first. And you hear that beeping? So the beeper is the variometer, and that tells you how fast you're going. So when it starts beeping more, that means I'm increasing in speed. It's not telling you how fast you're going, it's just indicating a speed change, essentially. So really, right now I'm trying to follow the tow plane. The tow plane, so since gliders don't have an engine, the tow planes are what, hold on, I need to turn with the tow plane. So it's important when gliding that you don't overreact to things, or else you're gonna get off course. So for example, if I overreact to this turn, I would end up swaying way too much to one side, and then way too much to another, and that would end up with me, having to detach from the plane, because the rope will have extended too far and the tow plane will disattach. So I'm trying not to do that. I've done that a lot in my practices. So right now I'm just trying to stay level with the tow plane and go up. So eventually we'll get, I think, around to that ridge, and the tow plane should indicate or beep, and I'll detach from the tow plane by pressing this red button. In reality, I don't know which button it is on this model, but in real life it would be one of these, basically. Oh, I need to pay attention. So really, ideally, you'd want to stay straight with the tow plane. I'm not experienced enough to be very good at that, but you'd want to stay with the tow plane and a little ahead, not too far under. There's also something that gliders do, and it's called boxing the wake, and it's more of a practice procedure, to practice with, to show that you know how to, I guess, fly relative to the tow plane. Is that
release?
Release, yeah. So you see that beep? So that beep was telling me, it was an indication from the tow plane to release. So now I'm flying, right? And a thing you need to really take consideration of, or look at, I guess, is, okay, so a couple things. This is the, no, sorry, that's not the altimeter. That's the speed index. I'm not sure what it's called, actually. But you see that yellow marking? That's like the optimal speed. And really, I'm trying to stay with that speed for maximum, I don't even know what it's called, but maximum flight distance, I think it's called. Anyways. So right now I'm just trying to stay with the ridge kind of. So I think I'm going to go over here. Okay, so I probably need to speed up a bit. What are some other things to point out? Okay, so you see my pedals? So I have pedals, and basically what that does is it moves the rudder. So basically, it's like a flap in the back, and it makes you, I think it's called, I don't know if it's yaw, that might be the term, but it makes the plane go like, ooh. One second. Here, let me focus real quick. Anyways, so the yaw makes you turn like this way, and then the ailerons, those are like how you turn with this, and that's how you like bank and turn like this, I guess. So to make a good turn, for example, you'd want to apply some pressure like here, and you'd want to tip the aileron this way a bit in order to bank, but right now I don't have enough speed. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to ride the ridge and stay at a consistent speed. So something you want to pay attention to while, I guess, riding these ridges, oh, that's a problem, is you want to make sure you don't get too slow. Because, as I'm going to demonstrate a little later, if you go too slow, that could cause the plane to stall. And basically what stalling is when the plane no longer has any lift because there's no wind that's going over the wing, if that makes sense. And this is a problem. So basically that was a mistake on me there. I was going up too much. And as you can see, the plane was shaking. That's because I was stalling. That's where the yellow dot comes into play. Right here. Telling you how fast you're going. Sorry, that's the altimeter. I think I messed that up earlier. But so right now, I'm just going to find the runway because I'm actually kind of low. Lower than I would have liked. Is that the runway? Sorry, my screen. So what are some other things to point out? So I'm going to do another flight, right? So that one was primarily demonstrating some of my knowledge of riding the tow plane, being sure I'm kind of not detaching. I'm not sure what the race is on means. Okay. I think that means that I'm gonna crash because I'm too low. So, in this situation, you'd want to find a field, right? So, optimally, I'd say probably, I think it's around 2,000 feet or lower, especially on cross-country flight. You want to find a field just in case to land at. So, I lost the airport. That's my bad. I'm still, again, very inexperienced. I've been doing this for 2 weeks. Hypothetically, in this situation, though, I'm going to turn around. You see this yellow patch? I'm going to turn on the air brakes so I turned on the air brakes, so that'll slow down the aircraft. So when landing, you want to be very slow. And you want to be straight with the runway. And you want to pull up a little last second. And then you want to dip over to one side. And then the plane will stop because of the wings. So that wasn't a very good example of a good landing, but we'll do another one in a minute. Alright. So I'm on a different runway now. Still in Slovenia, but not so close to mountains. I didn't really like that. Now I'm going to call the tow plane by signaling ready for takeoff. And then let's see what plane. What is that plane? That is a goofy looking tow plane. That's my opinion. Anyways, so like last time, I'm gonna kind of demonstrate some more things, maybe point a couple more things out. I'm just trying to do some repetitions to see whether or not I'm consistent. So this is a very hard part because keeping your wings level is very difficult, right? Okay, that was like the best one I've ever done. I'm not gonna lie. So you go a little up. So you want to take off before the tow plane a bit, right? And you want to stay above the tow plane. There's also an area, I think it's like below me. It'll be the wake of the tow plane. And I think it's like bumpy when you go through it. I could try. No, it's... Yeah, see, I don't know if you could tell, but it's a little bumpy, like right here. Because that's like the wake of the tow plane. But essentially you want to stay kind of up on the tow plane. Oh. So see, I'm trying not to overreact. Stay level with the tow plane. Not go too ahead. Okay, that's too far. But see, I don't want to overreact there and go too far to the left, or else that could be a problem. So, right now, it's all about anticipation. Anticipating where the arrow tow's going, the tow plane, sorry, but not overreacting, right? So, eventually, it's gonna get high enough to where it's, I'm gonna have like a beep or something, and that's gonna be a signal for me to release. So, what would I like to point out? So I also want to point out something, I guess, once we disconnect, and I want to point out some things about the compass. The compass should be right there. It's not very visible on this model of glider plane, but for a lot of them they are. So see how high we are? That's because the tow plane has been, of course, like, lifting us up for a bit. I think it's gonna signal in a second, but we'll see. Maybe not.
It is.
Oh, I did also do something wrong last time. I just realized that. So, when you release from a tow plane, you want to immediately turn left, right? And then the tow plane turns right. And that's like just how you release the rope. And to release the rope between the two, or the tow rope, you press, there's a button on an airplane. I'm not sure what it is on this model. I haven't been practicing on this model of glider too much. I've been practicing on another one, but you kind of just press the red on this controller at least. And actually, typically with a normal glider, I don't have another yoke, I guess, is what it's called. But usually it's like a stick shift kind of, and not like this. This would be more of like an aircraft type. But it still works in this situation, and they do the exact same thing. It's just different mechanical. Oh, okay. So, in this situation, I should turn way right, or way left. Or maybe not. Maybe he was turning left. But, that was something that I forgot about. Tow planes, they can rock their wings to signal the aircraft to detach. And that's one of the mechanisms they have. I thought that usually there was a beep that let you off, but I guess it could be either way, depending on the model of the tow plane. Alright. So, a couple of things I want to point out. First of all, I don't know where the compass is. Oh, compass is right here. I'm a little stupid today. I'm going to fly east, and I want to demonstrate something by this. So I'm going to, sometimes the compasses are not always accurate, right? Oh, I need to bank more. When turning, you want to be sure to bank. I conveniently turned west. That's great. But, actually, this is good because I want to demonstrate a turn. So, to turn, there's two things you need to do. You need to move your rudders, which is what I'm controlling with my feet. And that's what makes the plane go like this, this, and this. And then the ailerons, which makes the plane go this and this. They're different axes of motion. And then there's also this, which makes it go up and down, of course. So, to turn, you want to apply, I'm going to turn this way. You want to apply a little pressure to the left pedal, and you want to turn, and you also want to bank. And then pull up a little bit. Turning is actually harder than you would think in a glider. But, now, see, I'm heading east. And I want to demonstrate something while heading east, because this is the analogy that not analogy, but example they give in my book of compass error. So, one sec, I want to get to a good cruising speed before I explain. Okay. So, essentially, with compasses, it can be affected by like many things, including magnitude deviation, or magnetic deviation, what's it called? Magnetic variation, and turning error. So I'm also gonna demonstrate, I guess, turning error a bit. So magnetic variation is as a result of the difference between true north and magnitude north. So true north is, like on a map, what's actually north. Magnitudal north is the top of Earth's pole, like magnetic poles. And the magnitude poles and the true north, they are different and they vary. And that leads to a difference in... Why does it keep doing that? It keeps saying the race is on. I don't know why it says that. But anyways, so that would be, I think, yeah, magnitude variation. Another thing is magnetic, I keep saying magnitude, I mean magnetic deviation. And that's the effect that the instruments in the actual cockpit have on the compass. Because some of the metallic parts, or like magnetic fields, and like these instruments, they can mess with that a bit. And that's also very important to consider when flying. And then the last thing is turning error. And so, for example, when you turn, the compass sometimes takes a little bit to catch up, I guess. So that's something else to consider. Now I'm going east, and something that's to note when going east is that if you accelerate, if you accelerate while going east, right, it'll start to point north. I'll demonstrate this. So I'm going to bank a little bit. Oh, I might need more acceleration. Hold on. Okay, so see, I'm like really decreasing speed. Okay, it's not doing it. Okay, I'm picking up speed. And see, it's starting to point north a little bit. That's what it did right there. Now when I increase speed, for example, see, it's trying to point north a little bit. And then I pull back. It didn't there, but see, it's shifting a little bit to the south. So when you accelerate, when you're going east, it would be the opposite when you're going west. But when you accelerate when you're going east, it'll have a little magnetic deviation or turning error, I guess, to the north, and then when you're decreasing to the south. But that's not very important, or it is, but it's just something to know. Another thing that I want to talk about are stalls. Now, I'm going to do a practice stall, and I'm going to demonstrate how you might recover from one, right? So I've been going east for a while. So a stall occurs when you are going at a very low speed, and this could be as a result of many things, including that you're climbing too high, and that's why you're decreasing speed, especially in a glider, because since there's no motor, you can't really go up unless there's a thermal, right? So you would be decreasing speed. And when you are at such a low speed, what can happen, and depending on your wing angle too, the air can stop passing over the wing, and that can lead to there being no lift, essentially. It might be under. I think it's over, though. So I'm going to demonstrate that, right? So I'm going to climb a lot, and what's going to happen is the plane is going to, like, completely stop and begin to fall. It's, like, kind of weird. But an important thing when learning how to fly a glider is to know how to recover from this and how to be aware of it before it happens. So to be able to identify when you're about to stall and quickly adjust. So in this situation, I'm going to start climbing high. As you can see, this is getting really low, and it's going to start shaking, and then I'm going to drop. I'm going to try to do another example where it might be more dramatic. See? It does that. And what you want to do is you don't want to push up right away. You want to let it gain speed and then push back up again. Right? Because you need speed for it to fly and regain lift, right? So that's just something else to note. What else do I want to talk about? So yeah, again, to summarize, to turn, I'm going to do I'm going to do kind of like a U-turn, another 180 degree turn, and then I'm also going to do a 360. So to turn, I'm going to turn this way this time because I think last time I turned this way. I'm going to turn this way. So you want to move the ailerons. You want to put a little pressure on this pedal. Not too much, but enough. You want to bank, and then you want to kind of pull up just a little. And see, that's the runway where we took off at, right there. And then I'm also going to demonstrate actually a landing in a second. After I do one more 360-degree turn, and then I'm going to land, and that's going to be the conclusion of this flight. Okay. I'm going to try to get a little closer first, though. So, really what I'm doing... Ooh, that's really good. So I'm at a really good speed right now. I'm consistent, and I'm at the optimal, like, speed for glider flight. That's what the yellow arrow indicates. What else to talk about? This is the altitude. It's indicating how, what height I'm at. I'm at around 2,000 feet, I guess. That's not too high, but it's not too low. This is also indicating speed. What else? I'm going to give you guys a different camera angle for a second when I do my 360. So here I messed up and I didn't put my gear. So I think I can press G and that'll retract the gear. And that is something I really need to pay attention to before I land. I need to make sure that my gear is still up. I'm also going to go probably back in the cockpit for my turn. But as you can see, this is kind of what it would look like from behind. Oh, a couple of things. So, you see when I go left and right, oh, I guess it doesn't show it very well. But, when I push on my pedals, I want you to notice right here. It turns left and right, see? And it goes kind of like side to side. It's kind of weird. So like if I do this. This is also how you do something called a slip. And it's when you go like this. And you do that by applying rudder pressure and I think it's opposite yoke turn maybe. And then there's also something called a skid. If you go back in the cockpit. So this thing right here. That can indicate a slid and a skid, or a slip and a skid. A skid is when the string is faced that way, and a slip is when it's faced that way, essentially. Okay, so now I'm going to do my 360-degree turn. So I'm going to bank a little bit, pull back, now. I'm trying to do 45 degrees on the wings, because it's not necessarily optimal, but the more angle you have on your ailerons, which is controlled by this, the more, I think, rate of turn you get. Or, it's one of the two. Okay, so now I'm going to start the landing process. What? No. My dad just said air brake, but I don't think that's right. So, okay, so I'm not in a good spot right now, but basically what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to get parallel to the runway, and I'm going to go to maybe around those buildings, maybe a little past, and then I'm going to do a U-turn, essentially. hypothetically, on a real landing, you want to come like this and then go here, but I don't think it's probably the best way to practice it, but and how you're supposed to do it, but I don't think it really matters right now because I'm kind of doing the same thing. So last week I went to Gardner Airport and I saw the glider club, and there I was able to watch some landings, and there's a section in my book where it kind of shows like the diagram of like how an ideal landing looks like, and they were doing really well, and that was kind of interesting to see in person, and I feel like that's kind of helped me on my flight simulation. So in a second I'm going to do a 360. I might like try to go, no, I might turn now. So I'm going to pull back a bit. Oh no, I should have gone further. Wait. That was bad, that was bad. Alright, I'm going to go past these buildings, and I'm going to do one last U-turn. So there, you want to make sure that you have good distance between yourself and the runway before you make the U-turn. Because if you're too close, then you might come in too high, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to turn. Okay, so now I'm going to do something called putting on the air brake. And if I put on the air brake using this, it would be different on a real glider, of course. So in this situation, I'm coming in way too high and way too fast. So I would have, and ideally wanted to, I might turn again. So I'm going to actually go here and then I'm going to turn back. So I'm actually going to release my air brake so that I can make it there. So see, I would have came in way too high. Technically, you would want to go way farther. I was just being impatient. So, an air brake, right? I'm going to explain that. So, an air brake, I'm going to put it on, and I want you to know something with the wings. You see that? So that's the air brake, right? And it slows down the aircraft. Shoot. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah. And it slows down the aircraft because it, like, as the wind comes, then it slows it down, pretty much. So now I'm going much slower than I was before. Because the problem with coming in too high is that then you also have to go dip very low to land. And the problem with that is that then you increase speed and you don't want to land with a lot of speed. That's like really dangerous. Okay, so in a second I'm going to make another U-turn. So this is, I think, actually why you will probably want to do that, rather than what I'm doing right now. Because it gives you some room to do a U-turn. And I'm going to try to not make the same mistake I made last time. I think this is going to be the last flight I do for at least my videos. Because this went a little long. Ideally, when practicing, I think you do around 15 to 20 minute flights. So this would be over like a typical practice to get getting your like private pilot license. when I went last week, I think their flights were around maybe 20 minutes. The guy that was practicing, there was someone that was kind of learning, and he did like 20-minute flights. Let me look behind. I'll keep going a bit. Okay, so, and see, I'm pushing my pedal. I want to actually point out something. When I push my pedal, you see how the string goes to the side? That's because of slip and stuff like that. So now I'm going to turn. Put a little rudder into it. Uh-oh. I swear if I don't make this. Oh, air brake, right.
More.
Yeah. Okay, so we're better now. Still a little high, but. I did the one thing I wasn't supposed to do. Okay, so. See, I'm trying to get very low, so I'm picking up speed, and that's not good. But I do have my air brakes on, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm also going to land further on the runway. So I'm getting to a very low speed. I think this is a good speed to land. I don't think this would be too fast at all. And I pull up a little bit at the end. This would be way too slow to land actually in real life. But it doesn't matter. There we go. That was the landing. So, yeah, those are my flights. So I demonstrated some of my knowledge of glider flight, and I feel like I'm making some good progress.